Okay, so welcome back to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover that day's newspaper, important news items in that day's newspaper in a very short span of time, that is 20 minutes. All right. Now, today's newspaper is July 4th, 2024's newspaper. It is Thursday, and let's take a look at the important topics that were covered in today's newspaper. All right. So, what were the important topics? Today's newspaper was a bit light. There were only three topics that we need to discuss, which are important for your civil services examination. So, what are those three topics? Well, number one is Asteroid Apophis. Recently, ISRO has expressed its desire to work with NASA. So, ISRO has actually expressed its desire to work with NASA with respect to studying Asteroid Apophis. NASA is going to study Asteroid Apophis in 2029, and ISRO has expressed its desire to collaborate with NASA in this. So, what is Asteroid Apophis? What is this collaboration all about? We'll talk about that. Recently, Government of India also formed a committee under the chairmanship of Koppillil Radhakrishnan, who was the former ISRO chairman. And this committee is formed to make recommendations with respect to public examinations. As we have seen, many scandals have broken out with respect to leakage of paper, conduct of examination, right? NEET exam. You are all aware of the NEET exam controversy. UGC NET paper got leaked and the government had to cancel it. So all these controversies have actually made government introspect as to how public examinations should be conducted. So that is why they have formed a committee called Koppillil Radhakrishnan Committee. And recently, an international organization called Global Partnership on AI has conducted a summit. Okay, that summit was conducted in New Delhi, India. So, what were the outcomes of that summit? What is Global Partnership on AI, GPAI? What is its Ministerial Council meeting? We'll talk all about that. Okay, so these were the only three important news items that we need to focus on. Okay, so let's start with Asteroid Apophis. Okay, Asteroid Apophis. Now, first of all, let's take a look at what was in the news. So, ISRO is keen on participating, as I've told you before, in planetary defense mission in space and study Asteroid Apophis. Now, what is this thing called planetary defense mission studying Asteroid Apophis? Look, there is this asteroid called Asteroid Apophis. All right. Now, I need not tell you what asteroids are. These are rocks which are floating in space. Okay. Now, Asteroid Apophis is a near Earth asteroid. Near Earth asteroid, that means it is quite close to the Earth. Now, this near Earth asteroid was discovered in 2004. And back then, scientists had predicted that one day this asteroid might collide with Earth, which will lead to catastrophic consequences. If this asteroid collides, because it's a big asteroid, if it collides with Earth, then it might even lead to extinction of human race as we know it. Okay, so in 2004, when it was discovered, there were calculations by various scientists that one day this might collide with the Earth. But recently, NASA has clarified that it won't collide with Earth for another century or so. It is a near Earth asteroid, but it won't collide with the Earth. Okay, it will come quite close to the Earth in 2029. So in 2029, it will come quite close, like 32,000 kilometers away from Earth's surface. Just 32,000 kilometers. That's what NASA has told. Now, because in 2029, this asteroid will come quite close to the Earth's surface, 32,000 kilometers, so NASA has decided to actually put its already working spacecraft called OSIRIS spacecraft to work. NASA has planned that when this asteroid will come close to the Earth in 2029, its OSIRIS spacecraft would go close to this asteroid and study that asteroid. All right. Now, ISRO has actually told NASA that we want to work with you when this asteroid comes close to the Earth. You will be sending OSIRIS spacecraft to this asteroid Apophis, right? We want to work with you. We want to study this asteroid together with you. That's about it. Now, OSIRIS spacecraft will actually follow this asteroid from 2029 for 18 months and will map its terrain, understand its chemical makeup. Okay. Now, this mission in 2029 will be called OSIRIS Apex. All right, that's about it. So basically, ISRO wants to study this asteroid Apophis with NASA. Now, what do we mean by planetary defense mission? Basically, when asteroid Apophis was discovered, then it was thought that this asteroid might collide with the Earth, right? So how should we defend Earth from this collision? How can we prevent this asteroid from colliding with the Earth. So NASA has been working on that also, and that is known as NASA's Planetary Defense Mission. So ISRO wants to work with NASA on that too. All right. Now, let me briefly tell you a bit more about OSIRIS spacecraft. What is this OSIRIS spacecraft? Okay, just hear me out. Look, back in 2016, NASA actually launched a mission called Mission OSIRIS REx. Okay, the main aim of this mission was to go to asteroid Bennu. Yes, the name of the asteroid is asteroid Bennu. Land on asteroid Bennu, collect samples from asteroid Bennu, and bring it back to Earth. So it was basically a sample return mission. Okay, it was launched in 2016 and it returned samples from asteroid Bennu in 2023. So it was a successful mission. Now this spacecraft is still floating around in this space. So NASA has said that let's put it to work again. So this OSIRIS spacecraft, which was used to bring samples from asteroid Bennu, is now being told to go to asteroid Apophis in 2029, where it will study asteroid Apophis. Okay, that's about it. Now, I have explained to you the entire story, but still let's give it a read, the entire background. Asteroid Apophis, also known as 99942. Apophis is a near-Earth asteroid and one of the most significant objects in the context of potential impacts with Earth. Okay, it was discovered in 2004. It was seen as a potential contender to have collision with Earth, but latest measurements from NASA have shown that there was no risk of Apophis colliding with the Earth for at least a century. Now, here's the thing. Look, we got lucky with asteroid Apophis that it won't collide with the Earth, but there might come an asteroid that might collide with the Earth in future, right? What will we do then? So NASA has come out with a proper mechanism known as planetary defense mechanism. Planetary defense mechanism. Okay? And NASA has run some tests also. There was this mission that NASA launched. It was known as DART mission. The full form of it was Double Asteroid Redirecting Test. So it was basically an experiment called DART mission. Okay. Under this experiment, what NASA was trying to do is NASA would actually, whenever an asteroid is coming towards the Earth, then NASA will launch a spacecraft and it will launch that spacecraft at a very high speed, very high kinetic energy. And NASA would make that spacecraft to collide with that asteroid. Because of that collision, that asteroid's path might get deflected. Okay, and it won't collide with the Earth anymore, right? This was the DART mission, Double Asteroid Redirecting Test. So basically, this spacecraft will be on a suicide mission. It will collide with the asteroid and redirect its path. Okay, it was a very successful mission. This DART mission, it was successful in deflecting the path of asteroid Dimorphos. Okay, so there was this asteroid Dimorphos. NASA, through its DART mission, wanted to showcase its technology of deflecting asteroids. So asteroid Dimorphos was successfully deflected by DART mission way back in 2022, September of 2022. All right, so that's about it. That's all you need to know. You need to be aware of DART mission. You need to be aware of OSIRIS REx mission and OSIRIS Apex mission, which will be launched in 2029. Okay, yeah. Now let's move on to next news item, which is Koppillil Radhakrishnan Committee. Now, recently, various problematic things are coming out with respect to public examination, right? Sometimes the examination authorities are not able to manage the logistics. Sometimes paper gets leaked. Sometimes other issues happen. Sometimes center allocation is problematic. And because of these problems, lakhs and lakhs of students suffer. And in the light of the recent controversy, government actually formed a committee under the chairmanship of Koppillil Radhakrishnan, former chairman of ISRO, and asked this committee to make some recommendations on the conduct of public examinations. So government has given them 3 goals basically to make recommendations on. So what is the agenda of this committee? Make recommendations on reforming the mechanism of examination process, that how should the examination process be made, what steps should be changed, what new steps should be inculcated. Then improving data security protocols. If there are online tests, then data security should be ensured so that paper doesn't get hacked or anything like that. And Koppillil Radhakrishnan committee has also been asked to make recommendations on structure and functioning of NTA, National Testing Agency, because NTA conducted NEET exam and there were a lot of lacunas that were identified. Okay, now this is not the first time that public examinations have come in controversy. There is a lot of controversy surrounding public examinations. Public examinations have been controversial in the past as well, and that is why various other committees have been formed in the past to recommend the conduct of public examinations. Okay, one such committee was Parliamentary Standing Committee in 2021, which made certain recommendations which are still relevant today. Okay, so Parliamentary Standing Committee on Youth, Education, Joint Parliamentary Standing Committee in 2021 made certain pertinent recommendations. So let's take a look at those pertinent recommendations as well. Okay, first of all, Parliamentary Standing Committee said that various boards and councils that give accreditation to colleges and universities, they give them grading, right? A plus, A plus plus, right? So there are various accreditation boards or council. For example, NAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, National Board of Accreditation, right? So these should award marks or grades to such universities who conduct exams smoothly. So whenever you are going to provide any grade to a university or a college, make sure that you also check their examination system and give marks, award marks accordingly. If their examination system is smooth, then they should be given additional marks or grades. So additional marks for examination should be made mandatory for NAC and NBA. Okay, because through that only these colleges and universities would take steps to conduct exams smoothly. Plus, PSC also said that there should be complete digitization of examination process by universities to ensure fair and timely conduct of examination and declaration of results. So digitization of examination should take place, and there are various experiments that have been run across the world. Government or these testing agencies should look into these experiments. For example, this experiment called question bank system, under which and then the entire set of questions are released to the students at the start of academic year. Questions will be asked from that question bank only. Okay, so what sort of questions will be asked are released to the students at the start of academic year. Whenever they give their examinations at different centers, the examination authority only has to choose the serial number of questions that are going to be asked in a particular examination center, and each examination center shall have different set of questions. But from which set of questions from which bank of questions those questions would feature, well, there will be a question bank. So this removes secrecy as to which questions might be asked. This removes the incentive for people to leak papers, right? So PSC said that you should look into these experiments as well. All right, that's about it. Just remember the name of this committee. Okay, Koppillil's Radhakrishnan committee. Okay. Now let's move on to our last news item, which is Global Partnership on AI. Okay. Recently, Global Partnership on AI Summit, GPAI Summit, was conducted at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi in a hybrid mode, so online plus offline. So this summit was conducted of this organization, Global Partnership on AI. Okay. Now, this was also the 6th Ministerial Council meeting, the highest policy-making body in global partnership on AI. This 6th Ministerial Council meeting actually made a very important announcement. What was that major announcement? Well, they say that an integrated partnership with Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, that is OECD, a group of developed countries. So an integrated partnership with OECD countries shall be formed so as to bring OECD members and GPAI members on an equal footing. Look, when GPAI was formed in 2020, well, it was put under OECD. Not exactly put under OECD, but it was said that its secretariat will be hosted by OECD countries. Okay. Now, countries like India and Japan have said that GPAI should have an independent existence different from OECD. But OECD members want that this should be put under OECD. Okay, this organization. So I think the pressure mounted by India has prevailed, and it was decided that a partnership shall be formed which will put GPAI members and OECD members on an equal footing, though GPAI secretariat shall still be hosted by OECD countries. Okay. Now, during the initial days of GPAI, it was argued that GPAI would work under OECD's Working Party on Artificial Governance, but countries like India and Japan have pushed back. Now, what is GPAI? That's all you need to know, because its summit is going on right now, so that's all you need to know. It was an idea developed within G7. It was launched in 2020 with 15 members. Now it has 29 members, which includes India. And it is supported by Secretariat hosted by OECD, and OECD Secretariat lies in Paris, France. Now, what is the idea behind the formation of GPAI? Well, all these 29 member countries shall come together to form standards, norms on artificial intelligence as to how this technology should work in future. What should be the laws, norms, standards regarding artificial intelligence? Okay, that's about it. Just remember that the sixth ministerial meeting is held in India, where Bharat Mandapam developed in New Delhi, right? What is the major announcement? This is the major announcement. When was GPAI formed? 2020. How many members does it have? 29. And where is its secretariat? Well, it is hosted by OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, a group of developed countries. Okay? And that's about it. With that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it is adding value to your preparation, though it will add more value if you watch this lecture series regularly, because you won't be spending more than 20 minutes, but your entire day's current affairs would get revised. All right. I'll see you next time with 5th July 2024's newspaper. Thank you.